Hey everyone, this is Corinne Lafont from Lafont and Associates. It's great to be here again. It's the second day in the 3-day series, webinar series on crisis management. And I just want to thank you for being here, spending time with me again, 1 hour. I know that there are constant updates coming from the officials, the government officials, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Communications. Those are the two official sources that you must listen to. And I know that you will be probably going between listening to me and that information, and that's okay. That's okay. I understand completely in this situation. I appreciate you for being here, for RSVPing, signing up, and being part of my webinar series. I want to thank those who were here yesterday with me, and if you were not, the link has been shared for you to be able to view it. And I do think if you go on my channel on YouTube, you'll be able to get access to that. I also want to mention that keep an eye on the events tab of my website, Lafont Associates, because we keep adding webinars, trainings, etc. that would assist you. And just to mention another webinar that's coming up on the 25th, next week, Wednesday, at the same time, 3 p.m. Trinidad time, which is really AST time, or some may regard us as EST. That's okay. That's in reference to other places in the world. So on next week, Wednesday, March 25th at 3 p.m. Trinidad time, we will be looking at a disaster recovery plan. I will do an introduction of that for you. We will work through, just to give you an overview of what a disaster recovery plan is. A number of people don't know what that is about. And like I mentioned yesterday, people leave that up to the disaster preparedness agencies, Red Cross, Ministry of Health, all those agencies that are responsible, Ministry of Security, for disasters, crisis, and recovery plans. We too, as a household, have to be able to, and as a family, as a community, we need to have our own plan. And this type of crisis that we are facing is not going to be the last of a crisis. There will be many, many more, and I'm not calling things, but that is just how life goes. I'm sure you know, you live life and things come up, and you just have to roll with the punches. So we have to be able to know in rolling with the punches that we are able to bounce back. The whole thing about resiliency is being able to bounce back as quickly as possible and not stay down. Just like a boxer, you're in the ring, you're fighting for your life, and he gives you a knock, and you don't stay down for long. Okay, you jump right back up and hit that opponent again, and you're raring to go again, and that's what it is. Life is like that. So really, I invite you to register for that webinar that's coming up on March 25th. So keep an eye on Lafont and Associates page, website, the events tab, so that you know what's going on. Follow us on LinkedIn. We have some fabulous articles, blogs, information that's coming to you. We have fabulous contributors that write for the company, and they're giving really great information to help you. We cover crisis communication, we cover digital media and strategy, we cover content development. There are a number of services that we offer. I'm looking at my website, so if you see my eyes shifty, it's because I'm looking at my website to make sure I'm giving you the correct information. Not that I don't know it, but it's good to just look back. So we do communication strategy and crisis management, so we're covering that now. Content creation and publication, digital media marketing and strategy, right? So if you go to the website, lafontandassociates.com, you'll be able to get a better view of what those three services involve. So yeah, keep an eye on that, or my Facebook page, which is Corinne Lafont, and the LinkedIn as well as Twitter. You can follow us there. So yeah, we're talking today about engaging your customer base. Now, I'm going to put a couple of different scenarios when it comes to engaging your customer base. Let's look at the terms engage. Engage means to get involved. And before I go to that, let me just say something else that I wanted to mention. I have been asked in terms of the format I'm doing my webinar. Now, we are used to a particular thing, meaning that when I do webinars, because I've been doing webinars for years, this is not new to me, like I mentioned yesterday. 4 years, I've been doing it for myself. I've been speaking through this medium on international summits, conferences. I've been doing it. So the normal thing that you're accustomed to is a PowerPoint presentation, and you might see a little box with the person's, from the neck up, like how I'm looking now, or you may not see the person. As I say, a talking head, and you may see the slides. You may be accustomed to that, and that's okay. I'm not here to have a class. I'm not here to have it rigid. My approach is very different. These webinar series that I'm doing is to connect with you. That's the purpose of this series, is to connect with you, reach out, get to know you, get to know me. And in this crisis, the one of many, is to really get to know you, you get to know me and the services that we offer to build a relationship. And so I don't want to come at you as if I'm here to have you sitting down with book and you take notes and you try to remember everything I say. I want you to interact with me. It's an interactive session. Is to get to build, as I said, a relationship, because long-lasting relationships are built on the know, like, and trust factor. In time, there'll be things where I will have to do a PowerPoint, where I will have to share notes, where I may be able to give out the slides, that type of thing. That will come in time. But in this initial series this week, March 18th to the 20th, I just want to be able to connect with you. And I may do it every now and again, depending on the reason, the objective behind it. But I just really want to reach out and connect and answer your questions. And like the topic says, engage with your customer base. Yes, and so let's come back to engaging. Engaging meaning I am not just talking to you, pushing information on you. I want to involve you in the process. I want you to give me feedback. I want you to tell me what's going on with you. What are the challenges you're facing? What are the questions you have, so that I can give you the best answer that I know how. And if I don't have an answer because I don't know it all, I can find the answers for you and give you that response, whether privately via email or on the chat or on my website or publicly somehow on Facebook, so that everyone else can benefit. So engaging means it's a two-way communication. And Lafont and Associates is about communication, it's PR and communication. So it's about engaging. We're having a two-way conversation. You say something, I listen to you intently, I make sure I understand what you're asking, I give feedback, and reverse. Yes? So we're engaging. I'm finding out about you, you're finding out about me, and we're learning from each other in order to grow. I know what your needs are, and I'm able to facilitate or help you as best as I can. And if it doesn't come from me, then I can refer you to someone who can help. That's really what it is. So engaging your customer base. Now, let's put different scenarios, like I was saying. In this situation that we're facing now with COVID-19, you may be running a brick and mortar, what we call a brick and mortar business, meaning a physical entity. You're paying rent somewhere, you have staff working for you, the traditional type of work environment. You may not be collecting customers' names. You're running a business where people come in, they buy, and they leave. So you're not collecting people's names. You have no idea who comes, who goes. Your business is the model of you set up shop, throw up your shingles, you have a notice, and people come and they buy and they leave. And that is your model. Your model is not about getting to know your customers. It's about just putting out a product or service out there. In a case like that, how do you engage a customer base that you don't have? Your customer base is not reachable. It's who walks in. It could be anyone, any name, any face put to that, any name put to the face. You don't know the name, you can't connect, you can't call, you can't email, nothing. There's no way to reach that customer. How do you engage in a situation like that? If you continue in the traditional model, it will mean having to do direct marketing, just like how you are doing somewhat direct marketing. People come to you, you sell to them. You may have to put out an ad in the newspaper. You have to use traditional media, hope that they read it, hope that they see it. So that means expenses, having to place an ad for them to hopefully see. You may have to ask the traditional media, whether radio, TV, or print. And especially for print, you do some flyers, promotional brochures, and you may have to ask them to circulate that for you. Or if you're in a community and a lot of the persons there support you, you may have to send out information by hiring probably some young persons, like what you see some people doing, standing up on the streets and handing out things to people with the hope that a percentage of that would come back to you. Now, in this situation, we're limiting that type of interaction, that type of touching, feeling, hand contact, body contact. So it will be a challenge for you to do that. Okay? The other recourse would be using the post office, the postal services, wherever you are, and asking them to use their mailmen to deliver things to post boxes. So it's like you're going back into this direct mail campaign where it's like cold calling. You give out information to anybody because you in your community, you're hoping that a percentage of those persons in that geographic area, you will have to zone out a particular area that you're going to target. Speak to the postal services to find out which area to target, because they will have their staff, their postmen and postwomen who would be reaching a particular area. So you will have to discuss with them which areas you want to target, and you send out there and you see what the feedback or response would be. So you would have to spend money behind printing these flyers or brochures, spend money again, asking the postal service, because there must be a cost to doing that. Them get a service that they're offering to distribute these things. Or you may, if you know your postman well, there are some people that speak to the postman and ask him, pay him a little thing on the side. I mean, I'm saying this publicly, but we know it happens. And ask him to hand out how many hundreds to all the different persons that they may be serving in their community. So I'm seeing a comment here, newspapers also put your flyers in specific geographical areas as well. Yes, I was mentioning that as well, using the print media to be able to put flyers or brochures within the newspaper to circulate. So you would have to go back. And just like how I said yesterday, back to basics, people. That's what it is about. It may be annoying. It will cost you money. And this is for people in the traditional model, brick and mortar traditional sector. So it's going to cost you, it's going to take time and effort to be able to do that. Now, when you're doing that, I would suggest to you, because you still don't have the names to follow up with. These are people it's like you're fishing. You're throwing out your line with the hope that somebody is going to call you. So you would have to have, I don't know if you remember, on those flyers, you can have a section. I remember who used to do that. There was this company, like if you wanted to do a course before online came into being, I can't remember the name of it, but there used to be these companies that would mail you from overseas if you want to learn a particular skill, and they would send you the mail, and there would be a section that you can rip off, fill in the information, and post it back to them. That is the kind of thing you would have to do. Ask persons, set up the brochure in such a way that you can collect the name and email, but you can also add a phone number so persons can call in, give you their name and email addresses. So you have to find a way to collect that data. So when you're sending out the flyer, it's not to just print it and the flyer or brochure. It's not to just send it out without an action. You have to have them taking some form of action that you can collect these names, because remember, you didn't have the names before in order to build a relationship. So you have to be able to now think ahead and go back to that sort of approach where you can collect the names, email addresses, and phone numbers so that you can now set up a system that you can stay in touch. You may have to do this repeatedly, because a one time is not going to cut it. I'm telling you, a one time is not going to cut it. The percentage response rate is going to be low. So if you send out 100 of those, you may get back less than 10. You may, depending on the service that you're offering and what you put in the brochure, but at least you're going to start getting the names. And at the same time, when things dissipate and settle down with this virus, you will have to start within your brick and mortar business, setting up a system, because you have to learn your lesson at some point. You have to set up a system within your business at the various locations, if you have multiple locations, to be able to capture the names and emails of persons coming into your business. So you have that working for you as well as the direct mail. I'm seeing as well a comment, print discount vouchers, exactly, with a name and email section. So when they redeem, you have the information. Beautiful. And that is actually one of the points I have in my notes that I wanted to mention. And so I'm seeing one of the guests here mentioning that as well. So you have discount vouchers or coupons that can be used. And especially in this time, people are trying to retain their customers. Because let's face it, you're home, you're not working, money is going to be tighter now, you don't know what's going to be happening. Would you get let off? Would you be paid your full salary or wage or whatever it is, or stipend? Would you be paid at all? that is really what it is. That is really what it is. That's what you're facing. And there are some persons, like I spoke to someone, was it yesterday or the day before, she is into spa. And because spa services is a contact type of business, she wouldn't be able to offer her services anymore. So her spouse is the only breadwinner at this point in time. So there's a reduction in homes when it comes to income. So right now, the whole aspect of engaging your customer base has to shift. The way you were operating before, you cannot be operating. You want to try right now to hold on to who you have and be a bit more compassionate, like I mentioned yesterday. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is actually begging, asking institutions, financial institutions, to not pressure anyone. People are under a lot of pressure in all different respects. I'm seeing notes being sent out from the conferences being held by the authorities about the whole psychological impact, like I mentioned yesterday. It is not just a matter of dealing with the virus. It's the whole isolation that is being put on us. Stay put, stay where you are, don't mix, don't interact, don't touch, don't feel, it is having an impact on people, and it is having an impact on businesses. It's having an impact on people's income. So being compassionate, look at different ways of engaging your customer base, reach out to persons. So if you are, so that situation I gave was about a traditional brick and mortar and the different ways you can engage. Let's say that you're online. You didn't have a website before. Now is the time to put up one as quickly as possible. Don't rely on Facebook. Facebook is more about social networking. Same thing with LinkedIn, although LinkedIn is a professional community. The Instagram doesn't cut it. People need to realize that social networks support a website. Your website is just like your brick and mortar online. It's your storefront. It's the first place that everyone goes to find out about you, to be able to contact you, to see the services you offer, to book a time to talk with you. So for example, on my website, lafontaineassociates.com, there is a 15 minutes consultation that you can book with me. It's free of charge, that you can spend time talk to me if you're looking to engage the services of my business. That is online, it's free. So you have to have things in place. If you want to engage your customers as well, besides having a booking portal or a booking page on your website, you can also have what we call an opt-in. OPTIN, two separate words, opt-in. And that is a section on your website that allows to collect names and email addresses. It is critical. I have been talking about this for years. I have been looking at other people's websites, and I noticed they don't have that. There is money in the list. There is money in the list. And if you don't have a list building, a database building of customers over time, you have nothing. That is really what it is. It doesn't matter. Everybody starts off at ground zero. Everybody, so if you have no list, you can have a list of 1, a list of 2, a list of 10 over time. It doesn't matter how long. Don't compete with anybody. You should only be competing with yourself. It doesn't matter. But with that list, just like with the brick and mortar, if you have send out direct mail campaigns, you use a newspaper, etc., with your brochures, you will get back persons who will take your service, but you have to have the list. Without that list, you're working with a blank slate, So that opt-in is set up on your website. I'm sure you have used it before. You have seen it, you have experienced it, where persons will say, put in your name and email. They may be giving you something in return, or normally they give you something in return. It's like a bribe. They call it a bribe. And what is that bribe? I give you something in return for something else. So you give me your name and email address, and I give you back something of value in return. That can be, if you're an author, probably the first 1/3, 33% of the book, so that you get a sense of it before you purchase the entire book. It could be a series, let's say a mini series of an online course that you're offering. So it could be, let's say, a 3 to 5 day mini series course of a full course that you may be offering. So you get a taste. Like in Trinidad, we say taste before you buy. So when we're selling fruits or any little thing, grapes, people say taste it before you buy. That is really what it is. You're giving people a taste before they buy. So that opt-in is important for you to collect the names and emails of persons, because without that list, you're not able to massage, build the relationships, engage your customers to find out what are your needs. How can I better serve you? From that list, you can set up on various platforms to segment the list based on the analytics that you will see happening from the type of engagement. You will be able to see who is really watching your content, how long, how much time they spent watching that content. So if you have a course, let's say you have a mini course that you offered, and somebody put in their name and email, you'll be able to see they spent 10% on that. They spent 15%, Some may have done the entire course. So you know that person is really interested. That person may take another step further and give you feedback. So you get to segment based on the engagement. And based on that, you would know, okay, 5% of the persons would be interested if I make an offer to them. And even from that 5%, 2% may buy. So it helps you to make strategic decisions in your business. But you first need to have the list. You need to have that list. So this crisis is forcing persons to do business differently. Okay? To get creative, to think outside the box in how they do business, how they engage, how they interact, how they relate, how they build relationships. It's no longer about, I just want your money, come in, pay for it, and leave. Oh no. I am so sorry if that is the approach you have been using before. It is not like that now. So you really have to be conscious, because right now some persons may be in a tailspin, chicken without head approach, trying to scramble to hold on to whatever they have because they have not been compassionate, understanding, engaging enough with their customers. Okay. So we looked at those two scenarios: persons who run a brick and mortar, persons who are online, and what they can do. Let me just quickly look back at my notes here. So we also need to consider using text. People do everything on their mobile phones. I mean, their phones, as I mentioned yesterday, is like an extension of them, you know, an appendage to their body. Without it, they can't function. So using text, SMS text, to be able to reach out to persons. But again, if you don't have it, how would you reach them? How would you reach them? These are the things you need to start collecting. So you can send out information to persons, even about the virus, just informing them of what's happening, keeping them abreast, because people want that information readily and quickly, so that they know it. It gives the perception that they care about you as your customers. They know where you live, you know, based on the location that you may have put in on the form. So they may know what's happening in your area, or they may be able to inform you of what's happening before anything else, because it's sending through on text or WhatsApp or whatever, SMS, or through your email. But of course, SMS will be faster at this point in time because people have their phones on them, right? You can send a coupon code. You may even have an online store. So even if you are a brick and mortar, you should have an associated online store that you can tell persons, hey, we have to close business, or we have to just temporarily close business at this point in time. You can switch to buying online, and with buying online in the same store, you know, the brick and mortar, but they have an associated online store. You can send an SMS giving them a coupon where it's a reduction in the cost, or discount voucher that they can use, a code that when they plug in that code online, they will be able to see that they get a 10%, a 5%, a 25%, whatever it is you want to offer when they make a purchase at this particular point in time. People would appreciate that in this crisis. But you must have not only a brick and mortar business, but an associated online side of your business as a what we call disaster recovery. Yes, your business is still operational. I'm seeing here a comment telling customers what measures your business took to make them safe. That's right, right? So you have to consider your customers in all of this. What are you doing? Yes, as my audience is telling customers what measures your business took to make them safe, right? Always be concerned about your customers, because they are the ones that keeping your business open. They are the ones that's putting food on your table. Yes? So it's just like what the government and the officials are saying. We need to help each other. This is what it is. And we're coming right back again to basics, love and compassion. Being our brother's keeper people. We are being taught or retaught these basic principles yet again. Let me just look back at my notes here again. So like I mentioned, I mean, when you look at people who are in Herbalife and those network marketing, these are direct selling businesses. At one point, people would look down on them. I used to be involved in Herbalife. I used to be involved in Avon. I used to be involved in network marketing, heavily involved. And I thank God I had the experience of that. Because of that, I know what it takes to build relationship. I know what it takes to be on the streets handing out flyers. I know what it takes to know what customers need, to sit with them and have that direct relationship, to follow up. The key in business is to follow up. If you don't have that list, how do you engage? How do you know what people want? You're giving them what you think they want, as opposed to what they want. You cannot be giving people what you think they want. It's for you to find out what they want. Do surveys, ask them what their needs are, make the offers, discounts, coupon codes, work the traditional with the online. Business have to change their modus operandi. And as things improve, you can shift gears. Don't get comfortable, like I mentioned yesterday, because this is what has happened to us. We have gotten comfortable, and even today I'm still looking outside and I'm seeing persons still congregating, still mixing together, because this is what they're accustomed to, and they're just not willing to change. They're just not willing to change, or the fear maybe of being alone at home. You know, as a friend said to me a few days ago, is really what is making them come outside. They just can't stay at home by themselves. It is just probably too traumatic for them to do so. Okay, let me see if there are any questions. Are there any questions? Because I've been talking for 32 minutes and there's so much more to share. So if anyone has any questions, I want you to engage with me. Yeah. I want you to ask your questions, challenge me, let me know what concerns you may have. The thing about it is that we have to be able to use this forum to share. And like I said, I could have done a PowerPoint, I could have done all those pretty stuff. That will come in time, but this is about engaging. This is about connecting for me. Getting to know me, getting to know you, getting to know what are your challenges and concerns at this point in time, so that I can answer the questions for you. Okay? So while I wait for you to put your questions together, and there are no stupid questions, just let me let you know that. I said that yesterday. Okay? So what may also happen is that you may say, coming back to the brick and mortar, or even online, because you didn't do the opt-in, you don't have a giveaway. And if you want to create a giveaway, you don't know what giveaway to create, at LaFont and Associates, of course, I have to plug my business. We create giveaways for you. So we will get to understand what your needs are, and we can create a giveaway for you, whether that's an ebook, a cheat sheet, a sheet of resources, a white paper. It doesn't matter what it may be. We would look at the type of business you have and create the necessary informational product that can be used as a giveaway, a free giveaway. And it is free, yes, because remember, it is as a bribe. It might sound bad, but it is really a bribe. You do something for me, I do something for you. One, you know what they say about one hand can clap. Yeah, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, kind of thing. That's really what it is. Okay. So in a case like that as well, you may have to attract new customers. In this crisis, you may say, well, I don't know the person's coming into my business. I don't have a list. I don't know the person's coming into my business. What am I going to do? Find new customers. Start from scratch. I know it sounds hard, It could be debilitating to the mind. But like I said yesterday, relax, calm the mind, and talk to yourself. There's a lot of self-talk we need to do because the mind can work against you. Take my word for it. The mind can work against you. You may have to start rebuilding and the whole paradigm shift in the way you do business. You may have to find new customers. I mentioned some of the ways before: the mass mailing, putting in the newspaper, standing up on the streets, giving out, asking the mailman to send out stuff, using the couriers, whether guys on motorbikes, because that is really what it has arrived to now, where you may have to use your courier, whether through the post office or you hire someone to do that, or through the media to do so for you, or you advertise, you spend money on advertising the print, TV and radio, whatever it takes. Sorry, you would have to try and attract new customers. Okay? It will also mean, sorry, and this is not Corona, it would also mean hiring probably persons who are virtual. If you don't have a system in place for your staff to go virtual, you may have to hire persons who are offering virtual admin services. And there are a number of them who do these things. There are people in different parts of the world, whether India, there's another place that offers, that I know offers very reasonable virtual services, as well as we do at La Fontaine Associates. So if you want somebody local or in the Caribbean that is very familiar with virtual services, you can contact us. If what we offer doesn't fit your needs, I can refer you to someone who does, because I'm very familiar with the virtual space. When I started up in my business before 2010, I connected with a number of persons, and I was actually a member of the International Virtual Assistants Association, which is one of the largest virtual associations for administrative work, all sorts of virtual assistants all over the world. Yeah, so if you need someone in that particular space, then just reach out to me. And as I said, if we don't offer the services that you need, I can get someone for you. And I'm not charging you for that. I will do that for you free of charge. Yes? So here is a question. Should we keep in touch with vendors even though events are canceled or postponed? That's a very good question. Let me repeat that. Should we keep in touch with vendors even though events are canceled or postponed? Yes, you should. Cancellation or postponement doesn't mean your relationship is over. You keep in touch. You find ways, and I will give you an example. I, myself, was supposed to be involved in a number of things this week, as I'm sure all of you. I offered to do the World of Work interviews at UWI St. Augustine here in Trinidad. And we were going to be on a panel interviewing, helping to prepare students for the World of Work, doing what you call a mock interviews. And everything was going fine. They had 2 sessions, one on March 7th, which of course went pretty well because it happened before this whole situation with the crisis in Trinidad. So that one happened face-to-face live. And then I had chosen to go on the 21st. So the 21st is coming up this weekend. So ideally, everybody who had opted for the 21st would have been there on the UWI campus, interviewing these students, helping them to prepare for the World of Work. So when I realized what was happening, I reached out to them, I engaged with them, and I said, hey, what's happening? What's going on? And they, just like everyone else, said that it's been canceled. I thought they would have probably postponed it as opposed to canceling, because postponing means that we will put another date. Cancellation means that it's not happening again at all. Probably next year once everything has settled down. I don't know. So when they reached out to me, I said, look, did you all consider online? Now, I know this is a highly educational institution. They must have considered it. So they said yes, but it will take a lot of work to set up online. And I was like, I don't understand. I mean, that's just in my professional opinion. I don't understand what sort of work, and I'm not bashing UE, I'm a student of UE, I'm an alumni, okay, UE all the way. But I'm thinking, what sort of work could it take? But I am still in contact with them. I hinted to them, I said, look, I have a webinar series happening. I would like for you to invite others to jump on the webinar if you can, so that they can learn, ask their questions. And basically what I was saying to them, look, if you need help to set up online, because I set up these webinars within a matter of a day to 2 days. And here I am. So probably because I have the skill, somebody may say because I have the skill, but I maintain contact with them to basically offer myself to say, look, if you need help to do it online, I'm here because I have this webinar series going. I leave it to them. But coming back again to the question, yes, you should maintain contact. You should do more than just maintain contact. See how you can offer. And if it means offering to assist for free, do so. This is a time where it's not a matter of trying to gouge out people's eyes or cut them at the jugular. It's really helping one another. Because I'm trying to remember a saying that was told to me. It's like, you know who somebody is depending on how they treat you. Show me who you are. And people will remember how much you care when you show how you treat them, how much you care. They will know how much you care about them. So if you're all about making money from somebody, and I mean, I could understand that. We are in business. I am in business. We are all affected. We need to be able to make money. We need to be able to survive. But remember, the persons who you're reaching out to are the ones who are also impacted by all of this. So if people are having events and there's some way that you can help to continue that event online, offer your services to do so, they will remember you. They may be able to give you a review. They may be able to give you a testimonial. They may be able to look to you as a person to hire at some particular point in time to pay to set up these type of online events for them. Because why? They remember that you jumped in to help them at that particular point in time in a crisis. Yeah. So still engage with events, whether they are canceled or postponed, and offer to help. I don't know if that answers the question. Yes, I hope that does. Yeah. Not everybody may be thinking that way, but it's all about going back to basics, love and compassion. I keep saying it because that's really what it is. That's really what it is, taking us right back to the basics. So let me see if I can go back to my notes until you have any other questions. So yes, you would have to attract new customers, start from scratch. So if you didn't have anything in place, a database, the names to be able to follow up with anybody, and you're basically out in the ocean looking left, right, and there's nothing to hold on to, okay, you have to start over. And there's nothing wrong with starting over. It is better to start over than to sit down and wallow in your situation at this point in time, because soaking in depression is not helping you to get out of it. It's not going to attract the customers that you need. Start over, build that customer base that you can engage that customer base. Okay? You may also be able to set up booths at the malls. I don't know what's happening in the malls. I was at a mall recently and there were people there. I understand about minimizing the whole contact face-to-face with persons. I believe once you, I don't know if they would allow you to set up a booth at the malls at this point in time, but once it is allowed, I think you can probably do it for an hour for the day or half an hour to be able to at least reach out to persons and engage with them. Once you take the necessary precautions, you probably wear your gloves, you probably wear your mask. I mean, people are speaking about this mask thing. Is only the persons who are sick should wear the mask, not the ones who aren't. Okay? So if you feel more comfortable wearing a mask, wearing your gloves, to be able to engage with persons. Make sure you have your hand sanitizer. Just follow the instructions, wash your hands, that type of thing. And if you are allowed to have a booth, or even in the businesses itself, let's say in a business, you may be able to ask the owner of the business to be able to hand out your flyers or have it on the counter that they can come in and take it, work out some sort of arrangement. You just need to ask. As the Bible says, ask and you shall receive. So ask. The worst that they can say is no, and I don't ever see no as a no. It's like a maybe, and with a bit of coaxing, people may be able to allow it. And in this situation, it doesn't take much from a business, especially if you're not competing with that particular business, to have some flyers placed on the counter, and they allow persons to pick it up and go home with it and make contact with you. So if you don't have the resources, financial resources, to pay the newspaper or the postal service to be able to give out your information, that's another way that you can do it. Print up a couple hundreds, go to different businesses, hand it out, and just wait. Just wait for the results to come in. Yeah, it will take time. It can be a bit disconcerting, sad, depressing, because I've done it. Sometimes you don't get any response, sometimes you just get one. Be thankful for the one and keep moving. Keep moving. It's all about starting over. It's all about engaging with a customer base. And the thing about it right now is about learning from this. It makes no sense, like I said yesterday, you start from zero and at the end of 14 to 21 days, you're the same person. What are the lessons that you're learning? What are you learning from this? You must be a better person at the end of this. Okay? Yes, so I'm getting some feedback here. My answer definitely helped. Person is saying they saw a pharmacy in giving out lunches to children in the area, which is very good. I commend that pharmacy. Yes. And they're not into food, but they're giving out lunches. So which is good. People are adding on services and filling in the gaps where they need to. I'm being asked, would you say this is a good time to develop your social responsibility and community image? Yes. Yes. This is a time to really show people, like I keep saying, you show people who you are. Now isn't a time to be mean, cussing out your neighbor, cussing the government. How is that helping you to be a better person? How is that helping people to see who you really are? Now is a good time to step up. Step up and step out. Yeah, step up and step out. Show people who you really are. If you're the grouchy Grinch, now is a time with no bar humbug. Okay? Have some love in your heart, some compassion in your heart. It's not no bar humbug. Okay? Get out there, give. You have a skill. What just popped in my mind, people are home, they need help with plumbing, they need help with whatever. You have an old person or old people living in the community, find out what their needs are. You're going to the supermarket, ask them, you need anything? Instead of making them having to come out and go to the supermarket themselves, call out to your neighbors. Is there anything you need? Even if you need to buy it for them with your own money, if you have the resources, or they give you the money to buy it, help, help, help. Now is the time. And that is not only for individuals, it's also for the businesses, it's also for community members, it's also for church. It doesn't matter, because it takes several individuals to create a household, to create a community, to create a village, to create a nation. Okay? So I hope that was helpful to you. Yes? So now is really a good time to step up. Let go of all your negativity, that sort of toxic thinking, and think about the other person. It's good to be selfish, because we were brought up to think that selfishness is a bad thing, but we need to be selfless at this point in time. Okay? Don't be selfish only about you. Think about the other person. Okay? Because we're in a time where it's all about trying to survive at this particular point in time. It's all about survival, all about survival. And one of the worst things is to lose a loved one because we're not being personally responsible, we're not being accountable, we are being ignorant, we are being deviant. That is not helping at all. It's not helping. Okay, so let's be conscious, let's be aware, let's take heed to the instructions, and let's try to engage with our customers. And our customers can be anybody. The person that you're talking to may become a customer to you. As a matter of fact, you can have direct and indirect customers. The person that you're talking to may not be a direct customer for your business, but he or she may be able to refer somebody who can be a customer to your business. So how I look at it is everyone can be a potential customer. Everyone. Because that person can refer somebody to you. Okay? And if you don't treat that individual right, he or she will not be able to say something good about you. And so you lose not only that person, but you lose all the persons in their network that you could have had as a customer. So be careful how you treat people. That's really what it is. Yeah? I don't know if there are any other questions. We're at the 51-minute mark. So I have 9 minutes here with you. I would really like for you to engage with me and ask your questions, make your comments, any feedback on what you're hearing right now. I like PowerPoint. Yeah, PowerPoint is good, but I find it can be stiff sometimes. I like when I can talk with people and they talk back to me and give me feedback and challenge me with the questions so that I can answer live. Yeah. So we have 9 more minutes to go, or 8 more minutes to go, as a matter of fact. The countdown is there. So let me just remind you that coming up tomorrow is the final in the 3-day series for this week. So tomorrow, please God, we're talking about evolving in the opportunity. And a number of things we said today also segues into that. Evolving, meaning becoming a better version of yourself, like I mentioned yesterday. How do you evolve in this opportunity? How do you grow at the end of the 14, 21 days or however long? Are you going to be the same person? Are you going to be running your business as usual? Are you still going to be treating people the way you are? No. Okay? So how do you evolve in the opportunity? How do you grow? So we're going to be talking more about that tomorrow, please God. And next week, we're going to be actually creating a disaster recovery plan. Isn't that interesting? I mentioned this to a friend of mine overseas and she didn't know what that was. So I know a number of people don't know what that was. Many years ago, I have an interest, hence the reason why I'm in crisis management. I was certified as a certified business resilience manager, CBRM. Did I say that right? Certified business resilience manager. And this is an international certification, just like PMP, project management professional certification, that allows me to help individuals and businesses with business continuity and risk management. What does that mean? Let me see if I can break that down. In other words, just like what I've been saying before, if you're down, you must be able to get back up and running quickly. So how does the same thing with crisis management, how does your business continue in a matter of crisis, in a situation of crisis, and looking at all the risk, the what ifs, all the ridiculous possibilities, all. And I say ridiculous for a reason, because it's the ridiculous things that happens. And you're like, how the hell did that happen? I mean, and then you will be saying like, well, bring it on. I can't, what else is going to happen next? You're afraid to ask, but you're like, well, yes, So So it's like all the ridiculous things that can happen. That's what it is about. Business continuity and risk management. Yeah. What if? What if? I don't want to tell you what happened prior to me being here live. I don't want to tell you. But I managed to be here today. Isn't that awesome? Oh my word. Oh my word. Really. But the thing is, having a disaster and recovery plan in place. And why do you need something like that? Because you need to have something that keeps you grounded, or else you go into panic. And I mean panic to the point where your mind, you lose control and your mind takes over and you start hearing, seeing, hallucinating. And whatever your mind says, your body follows. You start to develop hypertension, hyperventilating, diabetes, all sorts of things your body starts, your body goes with. Okay? You end up in hospital where you don't want to be right now. So that disaster recovery plan is important to have. It's important for households, for families, for communities, for organizations, for businesses. It is really, really critical. And on that webinar next week on Wednesday, March the 25th at 3 p.m., we're going to just do an introduction to it so that you get a feel for what that is. You'll have some steps to work with. We can work on it together. And what I would like is for persons who have gone through different sort of crises, it doesn't matter what it may be, to come on and share so that we can learn from you all the different things that may have happened or have happened or could possibly happen in order for us to put into that plan. Okay? And on that webinar, we're going to be doing some additional stuff. I don't want to give out everything, but register. Yeah? Yeah, I don't want to give out everything. Just register for it. It's on my website on the events page, lafontaineassociates.com. Check it out. And please keep an eye on continuous training and development that will be featured on the website. My lips are getting dry. Sorry about that. I'm licking my lips. Yeah, so I need to get my water soon. So please keep a check on the events tab for lafontaineassociates.com, where you'll be able to see all the different training and development series that we'll be having, all one-day webinars to teach you, to educate you, to empower you most of all. Yes, to empower you most of all, to take action and not be in a position of, ooh, I can't do it. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, woe is me. No, the woe is me thing cannot help. Yes. So I'm being told, thanks for the info and encouragement. It's appreciated. And thank you. I'm at the 58-minute mark. So I'm going to just, as I'm being hinted here, say my thank yous. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have gotten value from what I've said. I know I talk a lot. I don't really like talking too much, but on these things, I have to talk. And I look forward to engaging with you some more. I hope the tips I've shared in terms of engaging your customer base, if you don't have one, you need to start one, get that list, start collecting the names and emails, have a backup online store with your traditional brick and mortar, so you are able to switch. Yes, I like that. Is it switch? Yeah, switch over. Yes, as quickly as possible, so that persons know that you're still in business and then they can just shift over. It's just a quick shift. Yes, but you have to educate persons from before. You don't just drop it on them like that. They know that you have an online, so they have an option. And in times of crisis like this, they can just switch over. So a number of tips were shared. I hope it adds value to you. I hope that you put it into practice. I hope you were taking notes. If you were not, you can listen back to this webinar. The replay is free. You don't have to pay for anything. I'm not charging anybody for anything. I'm giving of my intellectual property, my experience, which is why I prefer to talk like this as opposed to having a PowerPoint. because a PowerPoint means that I'm depending and trying to stay, you know, on track with that, which is good at times. But I just want it to be flowing, raw, and ready for you. Yes, raw and ready for you. There'll be times when I will use PowerPoint, etc. But today, I just want it to be me and you. So have a great evening. Thank you for being here, and I would love to have your feedback. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow on crisis management, evolving the opportunity. Take care.